Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between deViation and Synapse on Dusk Towers. Alright, so a ZVT on Dusk Towers, a pretty good map. I hit pause there by accident, and let's get right on into it. In the bottom left of Dusk Towers, we have the red Zerg player. It is deViation, with the awesome looking Hydralisk logos there outside of the hatchery. Very, very cool. And in the top right of Dusk Towers, we have the blue Terran player. It is Synapse. He has recently won a trophy in the online tournaments available in StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Fantastic play by him. Kancho, says the little boy. Looks like he is smacking that adult man in the butt or poking him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what Kancho means, but I'm sure it's really great stuff. Anyway, ZVT here on Dusk Towers. I have had some complaints recently. There's not enough Terran representation on my channel, for which I apologize, because here are some Terrans. Hopefully we've had some in the last couple days. You have been happy with my Terran fans. I know it's hard for you guys to wait for good Terran play, just because I don't have a dedicated Terran caster or Terran player on my channel. I've been looking for one. I've been asking for one. I've been approaching people on Twitter and on their Twitch channels and everything, trying to find somebody who's willing to send me replays as a Terran, and just nobody has been very responsive. So hopefully we'll have somebody step forward here within the next couple of weeks. The channel's getting pretty big, and hopefully somebody will recognize what's going on here and want to jump on this train. Alright, so hatch first into an extractor into a fairly late spawning pool here from deViation. So again, feeling pretty confident against what looks like to be a Reaper opening from Synapse. And there's the barracks, there's the Reaper. Timing pretty fantastic here from our Terran player. And yes, this is a Masters ZVT. It was sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. I had one of my many screeners take a look at it for me and determine it was worthy of casting. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how long this will be, but I do know it will be a good game. Orbital command is up as well, just about to finish, and a second command center here at the very, very safe second section here in Dusk Towers. Nothing can really attack it, just like Orbital Shipyard. And where's that Reaper at? There he is, popping out, doing a single leap out of the barracks and onto the ground. He's very excited about life. We will name him Tim. He is Tim the Reaper to get scouted by the Overlord coming in here. That is the fast hive. Holy smokes, deViation. Fast hive here from our Zerg player, deViation. Wow. Like 1-2 minute lair upgrade. Alright, Roach Warren is on the way, and there's a Queen. I don't see any continued Reaper pressure here from Synapse, so deViation might be able to get away with this. But here comes the Reaper, and nothing is really here to stop it. KD8 charge, knocking back a bunch of those drones, doing 10 points of damage to those guys, moving the wounded drones away. And here comes the Queen, gonna force some things away. The Queen getting knocked back, trying to throw some spines at these Reapers, really wants to get a kill. And, oh no, Reaper stayed its welcome a little bit too long there, but did actually get a drone kill. So Tim the Reaper had a short stay on my channel, but again, got a drone kill, got a good scout off, saw the Roach Warren, saw the Queen, and that is pretty good information. Did not unfortunately see the lair. The lair is missing from his information, which is a bit of a problem for the Terran player, but he should be able to make up for that and counter whatever's going on here from deViation with a couple good scans maybe, or another scout, possibly sending a Liberator over as well to do some stuff. So real quick, just want to go ahead and let you know about Gauntlet SC2. I have been casting tournaments with them. Okay, one tournament. It was a round of 32. I cast with Bobby Awesome, another StarCraft 2 caster who is in Canada. And we cast, I want to say, 14 to 16 games over the course of 6 hours. I mean, we cast all the way to the finals. It was a best of 7 finals between Apocalypse and Nurchio. It was an amazing time, and I will be casting with them again in the future. So follow them on Twitter, Gauntlet SC2. On Twitter. You can also check out stuff on my Twitter feed at Falcon Paladin to see more information about that. But we had some really good players show up. I'm expecting even better ones in the future. So if you're looking for a new tournament to follow in StarCraft 2, go ahead and follow Gauntlet SC2. Alright, back to this game. A Baneling Nest. A Baneling Nest and a Roach Warren from deViation. This tells me all I can expect is aggression from the Zerg player. Has not taken a third base yet. If there was a macro play in deViation's mind, it would definitely be have a third base by now. Either right here or right here. Usually right here, but easier to defend with this ramp and all the Overlords hanging out in a place where they could be destroyed by some Marines if they decided to do something about it. But it's a Marine tank play here from Synapse, and what is continuing to come out here? Just pretty much Marines and tanks. Nothing too insane. So this Roach Baneling Nest, or this Roach Baneling composition from deViation might be just fine. especially if the Roaches have a +1 armor upgrade, which is the Evolution Chamber could give them. The good thing about the +1 upgrade for Roaches on the armor is it lets them survive 2 tank splashes, or is it 3? Might let them survive 3 tank splashes instead of 2. So the attack here is 50 versus armored. Roaches have... It's like 120 armor. I don't know. I think it lets them survive an extra hit regardless. I know that Lings get to survive 2 hits if they have that armor upgrade as well. So either way, deViation just barely making some attacking units now. 5 Roaches barely popping out here at the 5-minute mark. He has not been harassed whatsoever after that initial Reaper harassment. He didn't have to build any Roaches to deal with continued Reaper harassment. I like this play from deViation, feeling very, very safe indeed. 145 hit points. Yeah, so that armor upgrade lets them survive an extra hit. So it's usually 1, 2, 3 kills Roaches. But if they have the armor, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to kill a Roach. And really, the time between that 3rd hit and that 4th hit, the Roaches can do a lot extra damage. Look at this, 3 Evolution Chambers. I'm not sure. He is getting all 3 Zerg upgrades. Missile, Carapace, and Melee all at the same time. deViation has some very strong plans in his mind of what he's going to do here to the Terran player. And if the Terran player sits back here any longer, I really worry about the future of his ability to win this game, because the Zerg, if he's left alone with these 3 bases, with all the upgrades that he's getting a Spire as well, and Pneumatopize Carapace to make the Overlords fly faster. What is going on, deViation? He's going to fly Overlords around. He's going to poop creep everywhere. I don't know what else he can do with Overlords, really, except for maybe drops, which would be interesting. Haven't seen many of those on the channel. The Great Wall of Supply Depots attempting to be built by Synapse. I've never seen a Terran player fully wall this off until about 10 minutes into the game. It just takes so long to do it. It's such a huge ramp into that 3rd. I know Terran players hate it. I actually kind of respect Synapse for not just vetoing this map altogether, because again, it is so hard to wall off your 3rd. Again, not that a lot of maps have 3rds that are super easy to wall off, but this one seems a little bit especially difficult. Infestation Pit on the way fairly early for deViation as well. Is he going for a hive here? He's going for everything under the sun, getting +2 Carapace now, ground Carapace. Combat shields, +1 infantry on the way for the Terran player. It's a pretty good Marine, very heavy on Marine composition here, which is bad news if Ultras pop out, because Marines barely tickle Ultralisks. Queen, inject. Do it. I know that lair. There we go. Good girl. Good inject there. Good inject here. Good inject here. Just checking those injects. No big deal. Terran player making Medivacs. Has double engineering bay. Needs to get those +2/+4 upgrades immediately, but spending money on other things right now. Has enough money for it, but looks like he's working on that Marauder count, getting an armory as well. I think the armory is going to be either for mech upgrades for these siege tanks, or at least allow him to get +3/+3 on these units. A Viking flying around is Overlord hunting. A Marine checking for any pushes from the Zerg player, and this Overlord might actually get picked up by the Viking. Look at this. It's going to be close. Will they see each other? Will the Viking see the Overlord? He's in range, and he does. He turns and begins to fire his Lancer torpedoes towards the Overlord. The Overlord does have speed, but it's not faster than a Viking, if you can see. Yep, Viking can catch up, but it cannot shoot while firing. It gives the Overlord another couple of minutes to live, and then explodes. Creep spread looking A-okay for deViation as well. And there's that hive. A hive at the 8-minute mark here. Very early indeed. Here comes the push with the tanks, with the Marines. +1 attack, but not +1 combat or armor. +1 armor yet. Here they come on in, getting rid of those creep tumors. Pushing in, killing everything that they can see. Here come the Roaches and the Banelings. And the Corruptors, though. Corruptors here to get rid of these tanks, or the Medivacs. I have to imagine more Banelings being morphed on in, more Roaches on the way as well. A Hydralisk Den coming up, because deViation wants to make every Zerg unit known to man. Overseer flies on over. The Marines get rid of it. Oh, good reaction time for deViation. Getting the Overseer out of there. And here comes the push. Banelings rolling on in, splashing on a bunch of those Marines, but the Banelings are pretty much all gone now. Roach is trying to hold on their own, but again, the tanks getting rid... Oh, Roach is getting rid of the tanks as well. The Roach count looking pretty good against this very, very heavy Marine composition. Corruptors getting rid of the Medivacs. Nothing to support the Marines anymore. They are forced to retreat off of the creep. And they go home, wagging their tails behind them, regrouping with another group of Marines here. +2 attack on the way. Not quite there yet, though. And these roaches are most definitely +2/+1. Standing on in. A lot of Marauders, though, they do very well against armored units. Doing some shots against these Corruptors as well, getting back to the creep so they can retreat. A bit of a gap here from the creep tumors that died in this area. Actually, all this creep will recede eventually. This base is not going to be long for the world. Does it get canceled? More Lings on the way, more Banelings on the way. Hydralisks being morphed in as well. Here comes more Baneling rushes right on in. The Marauders in front take most of the damage, and a couple of them die, but the Marines in the back are still here. However, Roaches doing a great job against those scattered Marines. The upgrades just aren't nearly scary enough on those Marines. Another tank ends up dying, and once again, deViation is on the warpath. Wants to get in there, wants to get rid of the Terran threat. I don't know if he can do it, though. A 4th base coming up for Synapse. The Great Wall of Supply Depot is almost finished here for the Terran player. 3rd looks relatively safe. Another barracks coming up, continuing with this production. And +3 Carapace, +3 missile attacks, muscular augments. Is that +2 flyer? Yes, Zerg attack flyer 2. Melee attack level 3, pushing in once again. The Corruptors doing a great job keeping that medevac count low. Look at that. Taking out several of them. The roach count looking okay, but again, against this bio composition, really only holding their own because the medevacs are not really overhead healing. Another tank on the high ground, splash damaging what it can, changing their target over, using Caustic Spray on the command center. Caustic Spray, 7 damage per second for 4.3 seconds, increases to 35 damage per second, forcing the liftoff there, and the Corruptors are forced to flee on home once again. Wow, Lurker Den, deViation. You want everything the Zerg swarm can give you, don't you? Really does. Spire, continuing to get those upgrades, +2 flyer attack, +1 Carapace, just now starting. Hydralisks on the way. Adrenal Glands on the way for the Lings. I don't have seen an Ultralisk Cavern. I don't think there's an Ultralisk Cavern. Oh, there it is. Ultralisk Cavern for deViation. Can I call them or can I call them? 4th base coming up here for the Zerg player, but a 4th base is already established by Synapse. Lifted up the command center, brought it back down, and a lot of mules are mining from it right now. So deViation looking okay, but Synapse also looking fairly strong. Not holding his own very well in these bio engagements, but +3 attack is on the way, +2 armor on the way for the infantry units. And is there a Liberator? I thought I saw a Liberator. No. No Synapse, no Liberator for you, my good friend. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Probably a bad thing on my channel. If you don't make Legacy of the Void units, you are likely to lose the game. But bad news for Synapse. deViation has Ultralisks. They're going to start popping here very, very shortly. They will have +3/+3. Chitinous plating will be researched here shortly as well. There's the Ultralisk Cavern. There's chitinous plating. 150, 150 gives the armor a +4 to Ultralisks. Just a crazy, crazy bonus for those Ultralisks for a fairly cheap price. I know it's somewhat gas heavy, but not the worst. 3 Ultras are on the way. Synapse and deViation about 155, 156 supply each. Nobody has a super high upper hand right now. Marines +2/+1, Marauders +2/+1. Siege tanks don't have any upgrades at all. Those armories have been silent. I'm surprised. I thought for sure Synapse would be upgrading. Where is it? There it is. Upgrading this vehicle weapons level 1 possibly, at least for the tanks, but he seems to be happy with their damage output as it stands. There's chitinous plating on the way. Takes a while to get there, so won't be here for this battle, I don't think, but the Ultras with +3/+3 do have 4 armor naturally. So pretty strong indeed. And this huge marine heavy, again, marine heavy composition, just not great against Ultralisks. They kind of tickle the Ultras. Lings rolling on in, Banelings backing out. A couple of them getting focused down by this bio army here. Dancing back and forth, putting the tanks on the high ground. Great positioning there from Synapse. The army moving in to take out this base once again. And deViation splitting his army as well. Banelings crashing into everything. Ultralisks on the ground, tearing through these bio units. More Baneling crashes up top. Everything completely getting taken down. Hydra is on the low ground, actually sniping down these tanks. Roaches come to finish it off. And deViation holds that off fairly well. 156 to 124 supply. Another push coming out from Synapse, but Ultras continue to push on out here. Chitinous plating about to finish in just the next couple of seconds, and there it is with 8 armor on these Ultras. The Marauders and the Marines aren't quite sure what to do. Ling's getting a full surround as well. The Corruptors forcing the medevacs to boost and run away here. Corruptors do not care about the ground fire. They get rid of those medevacs. The medevac count right now stands at 0. 0 medevacs on the ground. The Ultras continue to push in, chasing away this bio. There's a planetary fortress here. One of the Ultras does burn in a fiery death. Lings on top of everything, slowly getting whittled down. The Ultra count is fairly low here at 3. The SCVs can repair. They can repair through this. I don't know if they want to focus on the planetary at this point. Seems like a poor life choice. The Ultras instead should be chasing after something else. Going after these SCVs is a pretty good choice. Ultralisk with 19 armor. This Ultra just ripping through the Marines. Wow, not looking good at all for our Terran player. There are Zerg units everywhere. Backing off just a little bit here is deViation. Perhaps feeling like his position is not as strong as he would like it to be, and backs on out, continuing to make roaches, continuing to make lings. He's very heavy on gas, 2,300 gas, making banelings. Worried about a counterattack. He needs that mineral count. Only 65 workers. Probably be more comfortable with 70 or so. Has some idle workers here. He needs to get to work. Any idle workers over here? No, I do not see any. This is a little bit undersaturated as well. Where are all the workers? Here they are. Holy, oversaturated here at this third base. deViation needs to get on that immediately. The Terran player, in the meantime, is making Cyclones. Is getting +3 armor as well for his bio units and another starport. And producing Liberators. There we go. We have seen Liberators be the answer to Ultralisks in the past on my channel. Liberators with 85 damage per hit. It does not take that many hits to get through the armor of an Ultralisk and burn him to the ground. So we'll have to see if the Ultralisk production continues here for the Zerg player, or if he's happy with other things. I don't know. The Baneling production is through the roof right now. These Banelings with +3/+3 do 47 damage splash damage to light units. Marines only have 55 hit points. A couple Banelings come in here, wreck this entire section of bio. Another factory coming up as well. Perhaps Synapse switching over to a more mech-friendly phase? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Small group here of Synapse, but Lings and Banelings are ready for them to charge up this ramp. Be so careful, Synapse. Don't go up there unless you're really willing to take Banelings to the face. And here they come. Coming up this ramp, the army actually moving away. deViation, I thought he was waiting for that, but no, instead a lot of drones are dying here at the 5th base. Lings wrapping around. The Corruptors are trying to get rid of those medevacs so they can't run away, and the boosting they are, but the boost does not last forever, getting chased down by the Corruptors, really desperate to avenge their fallen comrades. And no, instead the Corruptors change tack, head on to the right. They're going to try to kill this army once again, but again, the Liberator here with Defender mode on does 85 damage on a single target here, right here, with a range of 13, weapon speed of 1.14. Pushing up here is deViation. Once again, almost maxed out, not quite, about 189 to 190, has a fairly big bank here as well. A good scan revealing what's going on, and here comes the Ultralisk and the Roaches and the Banelings crashing into everything. Pretty good splits by our Terran player. Corruptors are trying to get rid of the Liberators, doing a pretty good job of it. Good composition choice. These Corruptors throughout the entire game. This Ultralisk with a bunch of kills does get destroyed. Corruptor gets rid of another Liberator, and another Liberator ends up falling. The Roach is trying to focus on this planetary once again. I feel like this is a poor choice. They don't have the DPS to get through the repairing that is going on. Another attack here at the 5th base. There's nothing to defend this whatsoever for the Zerg player. Roaches aren't quite what to do with themselves. Using Caustic Spray on this planetary fortress. Is it actually going to fall? Or can the SCVs heal through this damage? You know what? It looks like they can. 4 Corruptors using Caustic Spray. Ooh, I really don't know. Roaches come up and get rid of that push, but not before the hatchery has actually fallen. Roaches going to town here on the 3rd base. A lot of supply depots falling. Reinforcing units falling as well. Another barracks goes down. Synapse is not supply blocked. Will not be anytime soon. Corruptors are trying to take down this Liberator count. Can they get the... Well, they might have to be able to get the Liberators, and they do. Both Liberators fall. The Corruptor's feeling very strong. Boosting in here is Synapse, not worrying about his base. Basically base trading right now. Is he going to lose this medevac? And yes, he does lose the medevac. A little bit careless there. Spore Crawler almost getting the second one as well. Finally getting the planetary with the second group of Roaches. Pushing right on in. +3/+3 on these Roaches. Very scary indeed. Trying to get up this ramp. There are a few Marines and Marauders at the top of the ramp, but are they going to be able to hold this off? Not forever. It's like a horror movie, and Jason Voorhees is at the door. They finally do kill that small group, and another large group of Roaches are here getting rid of all of these SCVs. 26 SCVs have died, 16 drones have died so far in this game. This push finally getting cleaned up by Lings, I think. Yeah, +3 Lings, pretty good against Marines and Marauders in that number. And the Roaches are pretty happy to get rid of this third base. Gonna starve out. Synapse recognizing he... Oh, does he know about this base? No, he doesn't know about this base. He thinks that he has the turn player on contained. But no, the SCVs lead the army right over here. Oh, SCVs, do not fight these Lings. You cannot do it. These are +3/+3 Lings with adrenal glands. They will tear through you so fast here. 8 damage, weapon speed of 0.35. All these workers are just getting torn apart from behind by these Lings, and every single SCV dies. The Roaches moving up the ramp once again. Corruptors are here. I don't know exactly what for, but perhaps to help get rid of this command center, and the command center is definitely going to fall. Roaches with a great concave on the remaining units here for Synapse. They are getting healed by a single medevac, but I don't think it is enough. They are +3/+3, but they are just outnumbered. Medevac getting taken down. Now there is no healing available for the bio units. Lings here, the command center has been lifted off, and actually getting rid of the Roaches there with the stem. But here comes a huge swell of Lings hitting a full surround, taking care of every single one of these units. Lifting up the supply depots here is Synapse. And what does he have back here? A single tank with +1 upgrades. The Lings do not care. Good positioning here by Synapse, getting there. So there's not a full surround available, and those units stayed alive a lot longer than I expected. Oh, so deViation here with a pretty big bank. How much larva does he have? 19 larva. He could just get, I think, a bunch of Ultralisks, probably win this game. A lot of workers here. He could transfer up to this base. Idle workers. They are now officially idle. They are showing up on the UI as idle workers. This base getting thrown down. Income going to spike here for the Terran player. Watch this. From 0 all the way up to 600 there. And ready for another mule trip. Up to 800, 900, 1,000. With 7 harvesters on the field right now. Sitting at about 800, 900 minerals per minute there. Synapse pushing out with his own little group of +3 Marines and +1 tanks. Gonna try to kill the Zerg player. Zerg running around with these Banelings and these Lings and these Corruptors looking for additional bases, I think is what they're doing. But production tab shows Hydras on the way. But again, the push coming in from Synapse. He's gonna try to kill this base. Can he get it? He's going to try. A lot of drones die. A full retreat on the workers at this base there. A Hydralisk comes in, does get destroyed mostly by tanks, but coming from the backside, the Lings and the Banelings crashing into all of that bio. The tanks explode as well. Another push completely cleaned up, but losing this hatchery again is deViation. He's got so many workers up here, 32 workers. He finally, has he moved these guys? He hasn't moved these guys. He just needs to expand about 3 times, I think is what's going on here, but he doesn't have the mineral count for it. This is actually interesting. Lings get on in here. Corruptors are finally going to be able to get rid of this orbital command. I'm not sure if Synapse is even going to bother lifting it off. He does. And look at this. You can actually use caustic spray on buildings that are lifted off. Didn't expect that. Banelings and Hydras and Lings coming in, trying to split with the Marines, doing a pretty good job of it in this particular situation. But the Lings actually able to pick off individual Marines a little bit better than you would expect. Coming in once again, focusing down those Banelings. Good micro from Synapse. Look at that. Focus down every single Baneling, trying desperately to stay alive, but only 24 supply left for Synapse. Synapse is a never say die kind of Terran man, mining at these mineral patches. 450, 200 minerals left on those mineral patches. Resources lost tab, 25,000 minerals, 7,500 gas for the Zerg, 34,000 minerals rather, 7,800 gas lost for the Terran player. Just losing a lot here. Hydras come right on in against this Marine composition, and that's it. Synapse is defeated, deViation's victorious, and Synapse has left the game. Whew. Boy, howdy, that was a good one. Ugh. deViation there finally being able to get rid of the Terran, surprisingly with Hydralisks. They're +2/+2. But again, so low econ through the last few minutes of that game. Again, had the huge advantage overall in supply, but Synapse was not able to hold on, was not able to do enough damage with that final push, and that was it for the Terran player. Overall, I feel like Synapse waited a little bit too long to really get in there and take down deViation. deViation was allowed to get +3 on his missile attacks, his melee, and his ground carapace, which is just nuts. He got Ultralisks, he got Corruptors with plus upgrades as well. I just feel like if there had been harassment from Synapse, maybe with some Liberators, it would have been a different game, but Regardless, that is it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, go ahead and visit my store. There's a description, link in the description. And as always, you take care of yourself.